Some people might not have fifths or fourths. They can just pass their fucking turn. I don't care. I have fives of everything because I play too many goddamn games.
Sean had to mute himself because he couldn't stop laughing.
I saw your big hat.
Okay, race is done. It's time to game.
It is time to game, ladies and gentlemen. So saith the hunter. Today we are doing another round of game of the decade with the
Good luck,
category.
5 minutes. Spoilers.
They changed the shirts. They did all this work for you to just open the kimono a little bit, do some inside baseball. But we're doing the best characters of the generation. I keep feeling like I keep wanting to say decade, which isn't the correct thing that I should be saying.
It's not even that you're feeling like you should say decade. You are saying decade.
Yeah. Have I been?
Yeah. It's generation, everybody.
Fuck. Yeah, it's game of the generation.
Fix it in post.
I'm stupid and reading's hard, which you don't need to read if you've got a good character at the helm. And with that, Matt, if you could give me your 5th best character of this generation.
So before I do that,
good segue.
I'm going to give a quick shout out to my number 6, which was anyone that isn't Kiki.
Fuck Kiki.
From Baba?
Fuck Kiki.
Fuck Kiki.
And then so my number 5 was Sans Undertale from Smash Bros. And that's all I have to say about it, Dash.
Okay. Moving right along, my number 5 is from a small independent game called Bloodborne that was on the PlayStation 4. It is Eileen the Crow.
Hunter of Hunters.
The Hunter of Hunters. I think the FromSoft games are pretty good at like having maybe like 1 or 2 kind of like really fun, quirky, fan favorite characters in them, like your Solaire's, your Sigmires, things like that. And I think that Eileen the Crow is really the one of those from Bloodborne. She is of a special type of hunter who is their entire reason that they exist is that they go and they will kill other hunters who have become. He's gonna do it every fucking time, isn't he?
So you get for talking about Bloodborne.
Yeah, no, really, truly, it was my fault. I was asking for it, but like her entire faction they are there to eradicate and kill and stop other hunters who have gotten absolutely drunk on blood and have turned into killing machines. She wears really cool, like, plague doctor looking feathery shit. She's got a dope fucking weapon, and she's more or less someone who's been doing this for a really long time, and because of the state of the world of Bloodborne, she hasn't had someone younger to replace her yet. So she's just kind of this like older lady who is very much like should not be doing this anymore. It kind of keeps kicking ass throughout the game until eventually she kind of finds the one thing she can't kill in typical FromSoft fashion, and then you got to go in and save her, and then she like bequeaths the title to you at the end of it, gives you all of her stuff. But she's super cool, top to fucking bottom. And with that, I will pass to Ryan for his 5th best character of the generation.
Originally, I wrote it down as like a joke, kind of.
Okay, yeah, me too.
It's been such like a persistent joke, and then I finally played the game, and he's just as charming as you would expect him to be. My number 5 is Gooigi. He is a silent Luigi made of goo.
God,
I mean, that's really all you need to know. But it's like he's more stoic than Luigi. He doesn't have Luigi's fears because he's made of goo and nothing can hurt him.
What is the nature of a goo person? Are they really alive?
Yeah.
What's differentiate a goo person from us?
What is a goo soul? Man? A miserable pile of goo.
What if God was made of goo?
What if goo was one of us?
That's what I said.
All right.
Well, it's like there we talk about goo. Sean, go for it.
Off to a good start.
Also, Sans Undertale.
Off to a good start.
Oh God!
No.
That was same time. You guys were like harmonizing.
Yeah, but I have video.
Shit.
He wins.
Where's my Xbox 360 Vision Cam?
This one is a bit of. Well, I was gonna lead this with this one's a bit of a meme, but after those last couple. But Prince Sidon from Legend of Zelda:
Okay.
Breath of the Wild,
He's hot.
he's a fish
He's hot.
hunk. He does the all the time. I can't even do it. I look like a little freaking weirdo because I'm not.
Just want to be
I'm not a fish
held in
hunk like that
strong
guy.
fish arms.
Oh, you ride around on his back. He's cheesy. It's great. Like just a little bit of camp in an otherwise stoic game.
One of my most like prevalent memories at JUCO is I remember sitting outside one of the classrooms waiting for Melissa to finish up one of her classes, and Hunter, what's that term for like a girl who's really into anime?
Oh,
Fujoshi?
A
Fujoshi?
weeb.
Fujoshi, yeah.
Yeah, three people that you would describe as Fujoshis, and one of them kept referring to him as fish husband, and would not refer to him in any other way, and just kept saying fish husband.
I mean, it's the best way to describe him.
You go right from hatful boyfriend to fish husband.
All right, that's fine.
Jason, follow that. Who's your number 5 character of the
Who's
generation?
your
Which
meme
NBA player do you like?
Is it frequently vibrates?
Are you allowed to count Patrick Mahomes as your number 5 character?
He
I
was
would
on the
think so.
cover.
Was he introduced? He was introduced this generation.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, I would, but he's already my number 1.
Ooh.
Ooh,
But
I'm eager to see if
He's
that's
joking,
true or
right?
not.
we'll find out.
but no, my number 5 is similar to my number 5 from Visuals. I picked Yarny.
You're
I think Yarny is just a good, cute little ball of yarn character.
Dash, throw up that clip of the dude playing with Yarny.
Hey, you know
Thanks,
what'd be
Dash.
better than Yarny? 2 Yarnies.
Twarny.
No,
Marnie?
this can't be.
Blue Yarny. Blarney.
Blarney. There we go. Workshop it.
Yeah, that's all I got.
He's cute.
Okay.
Hey, it's cute.
He's red. And he's made of yarn.
Luigi's green.
Facts.
Ooh.
Hunter,
Mine
you have
is-
more to say than 2 sentences.
Okay. My number 5 is Lawrence Hellman Gloucester from Fremblem Three Houses because
That sounds like you made it up.
It really does.
I
But
played that game and I don't even know who that is.
He's,
I knew it.
he's the
You
purple.
gotta play at
bowl
least 500
cut-
hours.
He's the purple bowl cut guy from Golden Deers.
Oh, yeah. I don't fuck with the golden deer.
He is a huge nerd that loves being a nobleman. And it's like, oh, the noble's duty is to do this. But if you recruit him, you get a really good staff that helps out an actually good magic character. So you recruit him to make one of your good units better, and then just bench him for the rest of the game.
That's some Fire Emblem ass shit right there.
Hell yeah, dog.
My favorite character from Fire Emblem Three Houses is this girl whose name I don't remember, but she has a cool hat.
My favorite character is
And
the
big
trash
titties.
can.
Dorothea.
Yeah, Dorothea. Actually, that is it.
I do think that the idea of Hunter being like, "This is my favorite character," and Dash saying, "I've played the game and I don't know who that is exactly my opinion of Fire Emblem as a whole."
What do you see, Sean? Let me go into the whole history.
No,
Hunter,
please.
you see,
I
Sean,
swear
there's
to
Hector and there's everyone else.
God. Hey, I actually know Hector.
Matt, salvage this fucking category. Who's your number 4?
Florence Hellman Gloucester.
I'll do what I can.
Steve Minecraft from Smash Bros.
Sure, I'm also from Smash.
John Subnautica from the Subnautica franchise.
I put
Okay.
Officer Dick
Hell
at
yeah.
number 4. So
A
I
stellar
don't.
choice.
Would you consider that a spoiler?
I am going to not say that's a spoiler.
Okay, so I think it's really cool that Jack Black is the unlockable secret character in the new Tony Hawk game.
Yeah.
I think it's fucking dope. I just really like Jack Black. I think he's a great guy. And
Like, as much as I want to
think
be
it's
a
cool that he
stickler
can play
of the rules of like that being like a remaster, I think that that Officer Dick is the one thing you could have possibly like named in there that's actually now that's totally cool and fine because that's a new thing added.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember like Tony Hawk did a promotional video for it like long before it came out, and he was like interviewing all the skaters, and also Jack Black was there, and I had no fucking idea why at the time. But that was a super
I just
cool
assumed
thing
he
to
was
unlock.
invited because he was doing the his gaming channel.
Yeah.
Jablinski.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Hawk might have had the Delgado.
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah, that's my number 4.
Yeah, that's a good one. My number 4
Little Officer Dick.
going to stay in the vein of the Soulsborne-esque things. My number 4 is Zote the Mighty from Hollow Knight. Zote the Mighty is this bug knight guy who sucks absolute shit at everything, but he absolutely thinks he's like the greatest and mightiest knight, and you kind of just find him
Oh, so
throughout
you
the game.
identify with that, huh?
Yeah. Don't worry. He ends up getting he gets a thick bug girlfriend by the end of the game. It's good shit. But you kind of just rescue him throughout the game, and every time you do, he's always like, oh, get out of my fucking way. Like I had this taken care of. Don't my sword thirsts for the blood of my enemies. After you rescue him and get to the end of the game, you can like he talks about these like 57 rules of like being a glorious knight, and you can go and talk to him, and every time you talk to him, he will read off one of these 57 like little proverbs about being a knight, and they're all just shit like, don't look at the ground while you're walking, then you can't see your enemies. And just like really dumb shit. He's fantastic, and one of the few like elements of comedy in an otherwise very, very, very bleak game. And I love Zote. He is the best character in Hollow Knight.
Well, yeah, he does everything for you.
Yeah, truly. He weakened all of the bosses so that your little Hollow boy can kill them. Ryan, hit me with a number 4.
I think this one might be divisive, might be a point of contention, either here or outside of it, because there's so much riding on the previous game. But I would say Arthur Morgan from Red Dead 2. I think he really, I really connected. I feel like I connected a lot more with him than I did with John from in both Red Dead 2 and Red Dead 1. Just he's got a little bit more kind of like grayer morals, a more kind of poetically tragic story, just so much stuff. And I loved just playing through that game, even though it is 45,000 hours long. I enjoyed all 45,000 of those hours chilling with Morgie.
He also solves that dilemma that Red Dead 1 runs into, where like it always feels weird to play John Marston as a bad guy, because that's not at all what he's going for. With Arthur Morgan, they can make nebulously gray and have good stuff work, bad stuff work, or whatever. Like I do, again, for that game, I really don't like Arthur Morgan is absolutely devastatingly great.
My number 4 pick.
Did I fucking transition to you? I don't think I said shit. I don't recall fucking saying anything about how I want to hear you.
I didn't recall hearing anything but silence. You're right.
Sean, what's your number 4?
Dash was busy moderating the dead
like
air.
No, we're not talking about
That
Left 4
didn't
Dead.
come out this. All right. We all.
Look, we can't talk about Dead Air, not after that last one.
This is the first of my picks. That's just this is the cutest character to pop on my little screen, and I thought I want to protect this little one. It is Daisy Mae from Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Daisy Mae deserves protection.
She
Daisy Mae
keeps
also
her
gets you fucking
turnips
rich.
Absolutely, she's a force for good in an already saccharine game. It's just a very cute, sweet little thing. Turnips on head, little snot dribble. She's great.
I love her.
Got bug.
Big
I
Zill
relate
from
to that.
Wind Waker energy.
Yeah.
Okay, except that kid somehow really grosses me out. But
Yeah,
Daisy
no,
Mae
he
works.
sucks. Daisy is everything's perfect. Everything is perfect about Daisy.
I think
Well,
it's
it's 'cause he
the fact that
chases
kid
you.
chases. Yeah,
Yo, is Joan dead? Joan's alive, right?
yeah. Joan taught Daisy how to.
Okay.
How to? I know because I talked to Daisy Mae as much as I could.
Jason.
Sounds like
Number
Sean's got
4.
a little crush.
No.
Yes, she is very small.
My number 4 is Trace from Axiom Verge.
Nice.
Big fucking
I-
nerd.
I don't know. I just thought he seemed like just a cool dude, cool character.
He's got a duster and he's got sideburns.
Truly my hero.
Yeah, I don't know. Ryan can probably actually talk about who the character is more than me, but I liked him, and that's pretty
Yeah,
much all I got.
he's just kind of some nerd ass scientist who breaks a hole in reality and gets sucked into a Metroidvania.
He's got a little bit of attitude.
Yeah, a little bit of that '90s tude, but Yeah, he's a really cool character and a really cool game.
One thing that I really like about Trace is I feel like when you're doing like a fish out of water or like a person in hostile environment, it's very, very easy to make them seem like an incompetent oaf. Whereas I think Trace still comes off like he's still a fucking scientist and still comes off really fucking smart despite being in this completely alien environment. And I do like that about him.
And he has dope sideburns.
Yeah.
Dope sideburns. Hunter, hit me with some anime character.
Too bad, because it's Beej Blazkowicz.
Haha.
Yes.
From Commander Keen?
The very same.
Eat a dick, Dash.
Only we went over this
How do we
beforehand.
like anime?
Only we went over this ahead of time about why we couldn't nominate BJ Blazkowicz, even though we all wanted
Hey,
to.
if we can nominate Officer Dick, we can nominate BJ Blazkowicz, who would really be my number one, but Dash said no.
Well, too bad.
We're here already. We can't put the genie back in the bottle.
I thought it was a dumb rule anyway.
BJ is a really cool dude.
I'm
Yeah, but
certain
he
you're going to get
wasn't
some more.
cool.
There's going to be more picks that you hate down the line. I'm confident of it.
BJ didn't have this personality before.
He didn't have any.
His
personality.
character, his actual his characteristics are exclusive to this generation.
He went to kill some Nazis on the goddamn moon.
He was blonde and he killed Nazis. That's
Now
all-
he's blonde and he kills Ronald Reagan, which is something that we're all a big fan of.
But it doesn't kill Hitler.
Now you do on my playthrough.
Mine too. You just kind of squish him.
You can teabag Ronald Reagan. What's left of him?
I thought Hitler killed Ronald
Yeah,
Reagan.
Hitler shot him up.
Yeah. Ronnie.
Well, maybe that Hitler guy's not too bad.
Ugh.
Good soundbite.
Yeah.
That'll be the cold open.
Yeah, Beej is good shit, and he is incredibly endearing despite being an absolute fucking dumbass meathead.
Yeah.
Shows a great degree of emotional delivery of lines that really shouldn't be, and then someone comes out and talks about asswipe.
Caroline, lend me your wings a little
Yeah.
longer.
DJ is great, way better than he has any right to be in that game.
Yeah.
Matt, number
Yes.
3.
So I had one that I just now realized broke the rules.
Who fucking
I
gives
had
a shit? Just fucking say it. Do whatever the fuck you want. Who cares?
Agent 47.
Sure. Agent 47, much like BJ Blazkowicz, gets some very good character development this game.
Was that
Yeah,
AJ-47?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have 47 / Jesse Faden.
Now go with 47.
Those are two different characters, Matt.
You're right.
I don't know if you know this. They're
No,
not the same character.
he puts on the disguise.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
He goes to the oldest house and knocks Jesse out of the bathroom. So
Just puts on her coat.
yeah.
God, they should just make other video game characters show up in Hitman or make Agent 47 show up in other. That should be a whole ass fucking thing. Whatever.
When's
You're right.
Nintendo gonna make a Mario level in Hitman?
When is Agent 47 going to go to a furry convention?
When's he gonna be in Smash? If Snake can do it, he can do it.
He already uses
47's
Hulk
cool.
Kirby.
He can play the drums really well. He's cool.
He is cool.
He's a barcode.
God, Hitman is a
So,
Kirby
like-
knockoff. You're on something here, Jason.
As the arbiter of game genres, Jason is correct. I don't make the
Saying
rules. I
your
just enforce
daddy's
them.
Kirby game.
It's an epic yarn-like.
So do you have anything else to say about 47 or Faden?
No.
Okay. He's cool.
I like him best in the flamingo costume.
Hey, it gives him the ability to fly.
You're right. You're right. It does.
So my number 3 started as
Fuck,
a
I should
different
have saved that for
character.
Tool Sequence.
Mine started as it was a different character from the same game who I almost put in the tool category because I feel like I like their function more than their actual character. And then I decided, actually, there's a character from this same game who's cool as shit. And I'm picking Young Venus from Nuclear Throne.
Damn it, Dash.
He is the god of guns, and he also has a blossoming rap career. He has a floating triangle who lives in a cool mansion, and he has cool rocket cars, and he's super duper cool. And I cosplayed him once for a contest we should have won.
Yeah, we should have.
This is
I
the
agree.
sequel to Nuclear Throne.
Yeah.
I have a
Actually, one
sidebar.
and the same.
It's just
Are we
European
not allowed
title.
to reuse games?
Not
Not in the same category.
Whoops. All right.
The Wolfenstein
Ron has
clause.
5 Animal Crossing characters.
But
And
Bob.
It was 5 of us, and then one person who didn't make the cut.
and I like Young Venus a lot, and I honestly think he'd maybe be higher on this list, except I think his in-game function is okay at best, where he just lets you shoot faster, or rather he lowers your reload times on all your guns to let you just throw out more bullets. But also the strength of the other 2 characters are almost in a league of their own compared to my first 3. But I will pass to Ryan for his number 3.
I think this one kind of sits in the same league as Guiji,
Oh boy.
in that it's
Luigi.
kind of a joke, but it's persisted so much that it's become important to me. But also, I just love him in the game. It's Grabbin' Gary from Broken Age,
Mm-hmm.
and his character is that Grabbin' Gary doesn't want to grab that, and then he really comes around, has a redemption arc where he eventually does want to grab something, and
Yeah.
he does, and saves the day.
But
And he's
Grabbin' Gary
perfect.
was introduced on the GameCube in Pikmin, as we all know.
The deepest fucking cut. I'm the only one who's gonna get that goddamn joke.
Hey, all your viewer are gonna get it.
No, that's why I said me.
Yeah, I said viewer.
But Grabbin'
Grabbin'
Gary
Gary's
from
good.
Broken Age.
I remember when we first saw Grabbin' Gary and just how enamored we were with him. He's delightful.
He's like the first item you get in the game, and then the last item you use. So you end up trying to use him for every puzzle throughout the game, and it's just like
Grabbin' Gary doesn't want to
Grabbin'
grab
Gary
that.
doesn't want to grab that. And then you get to the final puzzle, and all you got left is Grabbin' Gary. And who doggy does he grab? He's so good at what he does.
Sean, grab me your number 3.
My number
Good.
3 is Baba from Baba Is You. Baba is a cute little thing. It's super simple, like looking, and yet just like perfectly out of proportion to be absolutely adorable.
Weird
sometimes-
rabbit guy.
Exactly. Sometimes I hear people say, like, pronounce it like Baba, and I think that's fun.
Ooh, no.
I love that. I'm
That's
like,
deeply
"Aw."
cursed. I don't want to hear that at all.
It's just a great little guy. Not
Oh,
really
His
Let's
name is
say that.
actually Boo Boo, and he's Yogi's sidekick.
Jason is next.
It's true. My number 3 is Arthur Morgan because he's a big old douche.
Arthur's a
Jason
douche. You sure not
identifies
talking
with
about
that.
Micah?
Yeah.
I mean, they're all douches. Arthur's a big old douche in his own way.
That's true. He does die because he was a douche earlier in the game.
That is, oh man, poetic justice right there.
No, I don't know. He has really hard douche vibes.
Is it because he wears fancy hats at inappropriate times?
Look, I will not take off my snake bulldogger hat. You cannot make it.
I think that's a player choice. But I don't really have a whole lot to say that Ryan didn't already say.
Or can we do spoilers?
So I wasn't sure about that. I figured use your own discretion, but
Because I would really like to talk about this thing if it's cool. If there aren't people who want to.
Is it the
finish
Arthur
up
Morgan
Red
thing?
Dead. Yeah.
Okay, I know it, and I'm also not going to finish that fucking game.
I'm never gonna play that
I
game.
would love to
Same.
pretend I will finish it, but I think I played like 20 hours and I'm like 13% the way through, so I'm not never gonna finish it.
Okay, so Arthur dies of tuberculosis because he beats the shit out of somebody who has tuberculosis and gets blood in his mouth.
Nice.
Yeah, and
So
it
it's like-
gets
That's the dream.
it starts manifesting like in the 3rd act or so, where he's kind of just like coughing a little bit, but it's like whatever. It could just be like a little character trait, but then like it just starts happening more and more and more, and then there's just something about fucking dying to tuberculosis compared to like John Marston, who dies in the fucking hail of bullets the way he does. Like it's understated and tiny in a way that I just think is really well done.
So it's
Plus,
the best,
you get that
it's
sick
the best genre of movie where someone coughs up blood and doesn't tell anybody.
Except the camera.
That being said, while we are talking about characters in Red Dead, fuck Colm O'Driscoll.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Fuck
Fuck Micah
Yeah,
Bell.
totally. Yeah, for sure.
Hunter. Fuck Colm O'Driscoll.
Fuck him. Is it time for my number 3, or are we still saying fuck Colm O'Driscoll?
No, I was trying to segue.
It wasn't very
My
good.
number 3 is Colm O'Driscoll.
Why start now? Why start now?
Because we can. My number 3 is Fane from Divinity Original Sin 2. He is a skeleton.
Oh, he's a skeleton, right?
Yeah, he's got a big old jewel in his head, but he woke
Hey,
up
me too.
after like that's a good one.
Matt beat me to it. I was
My
thinking that.
tuberculosis.
Carrot Top up here.
He's a big old skeleton. He's an eternal. He woke up after like thousands of years of being exiled to find out his entire race is just gone, and they're replaced with the actual playable races. So not only does he's a dick because he thinks he's above everyone else, but he's also trying to figure out what happened to his people. And at one point, if you want, you can have sex with him. And he's like, I mean, you did a great job, but I literally can't feel anything. So I don't know why we did that.
Big mood.
Yeah.
Skeletons are good shit. Matt, hit me with a number 2.
You're a dickhead because my number 2 is YB.
Ah, okay. Yeah, he's a rapper who also has golden guns.
Yes. I put him so high on the list because he is the character that I use, whereas not the same is not true for Dash.
Yeah, but he's still a really cool guy. He's got a really cool
guy.
cousin who's the god of video games, who you always just see on a couch and you can get in his way and tries to
And if
see
you
around
blow
you.
up
but
his TV, he will cry.
yeah, he'll cry, and I can relate to that. I would behave similarly.
But yeah, Young Venus is my number 2.
I thought about actually putting Young Cousin as my character, but also he has no actual character, and it's all just like headcanon shit, so it doesn't. I
Yeah.
just didn't fucking bother.
Yeah, makes sense.
My number 2 was almost my number. Like honestly, these two I kind of go back and forth on, but number 2 is Papyrus from Undertale.
Hey.
He's delightful. Much like Hunter tried to fuck a skeleton, I got to date a skeleton.
He's a good chef.
And he's a great chef.
Sharp dresser.
He's a cool dude. He's
good at dating.
basketball. Yeah, great at dating. And he's really kind of the first moment where Undertale starts to be Undertale. And
Yeah, I agree.
he just is the best. And I distinctly remember like the first time, like I thought he was being like played as, and obviously he's being played incompetent for laughs, but there's the point where it just turns out he's actually a nice dude, where I think is where he really starts to become endearing. But I just, Papyrus is goddamn delightful. I like Sans too. I think Sans is very fun in a lot of ways, but there's just something about the dopey friendliness of Papyrus that I find very comforting. And he's my Undertale pick.
It's
Plus,
also the point where, like, I feel like that's the first point where you have to like figure out how to not kill an enemy, and it's the most feel bad about killing enemy right up front, and I think it's really works to that end.
I really like how in that part they introduce you to the blue attacks like a few minutes earlier. Just don't move and you dodge them. And then he's like, I'm going to do my blue attack. And then it just turns you blue.
I also feel like and I could be wrong on this, but I think that he was the first one where like the actual attack box starts doing like where the dog steals his attacks.
Yeah.
That's where they really start like getting into that and kind of pushing that concept of the game.
Yeah.
Like I know that technically Toriel is the tutorial boss, but I feel like Papyrus is where the game really comes into its own.
Wait, tutorial?
Yeah, it's French for beginning.
Huh.
Toby Fox is French.
Did you know she's like a handheld holding tutorial? Game theory.
Welcome to our game theory channel.
Ryan, hit me with your theory of who the
Did you
second
know?
best character of the generation is.
It is
Wait, are we on number 2 or 1?
2.
That was my number 2.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Sorry.
Okay, number 2 for me. I think the person who made this game took a huge risk on putting a fake version of himself in this game and making it shitty. Like, you fucking hate him by the end of the game. But it's Davey Wreden in Beginner's Guide. Sean, you were talking earlier about like Edith Finch, kind of those walking sims you haven't played. Beginner's Guide is my favorite of those.
Putting that in my misconnections now.
It is also one. If it's not Edith Finch, it's Beginner's Guide.
Yeah, Beginner's Guide is one of those things that like that got me thinking about it for like 2 weeks straight. Just there's so many different ways to look at it, but it's crazy. And he's basically like the narrator of this thing. He has a bunch of basically like prototype video games of an old friend of his that he's showing off and then like narrating over them.
Yeah, and I think we're going to get into more of the weeds on Beginner's Guide when we get to a different category later in this.
Okay.
But like it is like Ryan said, where he is the creator of the game. He's a game developer, and I mean he's worked on other things as well. He worked on Stanley Parable.
He did Stanley Parable.
Yeah. So
he played it. Yeah, gotcha.
Fictional version of himself, like kind of just
Entourage style.
Yeah, it's really great, but I think that we'll get into the weeds more on that one on the story category.
Rad.
Call it a hunch.
Wow.
So I also have a hunch that I want to hear who Sean thinks is the second best character of the generation.
So Ryan's pick inspired me to one that I forgot about. So I'm going to correct because I was going to do 2 from Baba because I was going to say you from Baba Is You. And sort of because I realized Baba really isn't. Anyway, that's not the point. I'm going to go with Bennett Foddy from Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy. That's one of my sleeper favorite games. Favorite games of the last couple of years that I just love listening to him talk, even when he's like spewing this like 3rd grade philosophy. But every once in a while, there'll be just these great little nuggets that I keep rolling around his line about an orange in my head ever since I played that game.
Repeat it.
It'll be embarrassing, but
okay.
all right.
Oh yeah, that'll be embarrassing.
Oh, you're right. This whole exercise is embarrassing.
Yeah.
We're exercising?
So you come upon an orange, it's all like used assets in that game, and he's like, it's sweet fruit locked in a bitter peel. Give me the bitter, the coffee, the grapefruit, the licorice. And I'm like, those are my favorite foods. Yeah.
I regularly just put on that, like the monologue of his whole thing through the game and just kind of like listen to it. I think it's a really good, it's that exact thing Sean was talking about.
Diarrhea.
Am I still coming through just fine?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. But yeah,
everyone like my cat's washing your face.
I've been watching it.
That's adorable. I nominate Luna for best character of the generation. But yeah, Bennett Foddy's monologue is really, really good, and you get a very good idea of who he is. I would say he's, probably, he's hamming it up a little bit, but you do get a very good idea of his development.
And it gets less hammy and like more just like sincere as you go along. And I like that about it. Because at the beginning, he's sort of like someone to roll your eyes at, and he's like antagonizing you. But then once you get near the end, it actually becomes, and at that point you've dropped, like, if you're like me, like 15 hours getting up this short game.
Getting over it.
Exactly. And at that point, you're really endeared to him.
Jason, have you been looking at a list of your favorite characters of the generation and want to give me some fodder for the number 2 slot?
Get over it.
Honestly, that would have been a way easier segue if I played into that part.
So this is just another example of me not really connecting with characters in video games and not having strong opinions. But my number 2 is the Goose.
You don't connect with the Goose?
No.
Okay, Goose has more character than most human video game characters.
I do. I just like.
I completely forgot about it.
It feels wrong having Goose so high up on my list of characters over the course of an entire generation of video games. But that Goose is just a fucking menace, but also very much a character that I never want to get caught by the mean humans.
Goose was my number 6 character, and it was a tough fucking choice between which bird-themed character I was going to pick in my number 5 slot.
Yeah, like that game just clicked in a weird way that I meant to try it for 10 minutes and then beat it without moving.
Yeah, Amar and I got super into it where we each, I think, beat it independently, and then we did the speed run version of it. So we've completely 100%ed that game, and it's just like, it's weird that being an asshole Goose really clicked with everybody.
Yeah, it's just being a shithead Goose is just, that's what we all really want to be.
I just want to honk and I just want to bonk.
You want to be a bastard on purpose.
Yeah. I'm honk to the bonk. Honk to the bonk.
Honk to the bonk.
Brian, you can't do that.
Bang to bang.
We're gonna get copyrighted.
Diggy diggy. Hunter, hit me with the number 2.
Mine was Papyrus, just like you. Good rhyme.
You rhymed.
Matt, you know what rhymes with number 1 character of the generation? It's what I want to hear from you.
Alphys.
That doesn't rhyme.
Prove it. No, but that's my number 1 character. I think she's a lot of fun. Alphys.
Wait, who'd you say?
From Undertale.
Oh, Alphys the Weeble.
Oh.
Yeah, the weeaboo. I just love that she's this weird, like, real life version of an anime girl.
Hey, Matt, really quick.
Yeah.
Did you attempt to circumvent the rule by saying Sans from Super Smash Brothers and then doing Alphys as your number 1?
No, no. They put Sans in Smash Brothers.
He didn't attempt to circumvent. He did.
He succeeded.
Yeah, get fucked on, nerd.
He did it 30 minutes ago.
Yeah,
Because
I
notice
like
how we
Alphys.
didn't talk about Undertale when Matt said Sans from Smash Bros?
He wanted
Yeah,
to move on specifically.
It's because it was from Smash Bros.
I think that Alphys gets a lot of shit because you're kind of like not like she's supposed to be kind of shitty, but I do find her very, very. I mean, I find pretty much all of the main characters not to be very endearing, but I also I like me some Alphys.
Yeah, I think she's a good time, and the subsequent playthroughs just make her even better.
Yeah.
I almost considered the robot, but the fact that I couldn't remember the robot's name.
Mettaton?
You got to do sexy Mettaton though.
Oh, it's a package deal. I like the fact that it goes from being
I like the claptrap one.
Going from being a cube to just like a flamboyant, sexy man. I love that. But that's not my pick. Sorry, continue.
Moving, I guess I'll go ahead and I don't want to hear an ounce of your goddamn bullshit because I realize that even you, I think, will back me up on this one. But my number 1 is Pascal from Nier Automata. Say what you will about that motherfucking game, like
not a meal.
Yeah.
The meal didn't originate from an automata.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
It's like Emil's a fun meme joke character, but I didn't do any of those
He's
for
a
my
real
list.
character.
But
you just gotta play the first Nier to understand him.
Pascal's entire trip, I think it is without a doubt the thing that embodies that entire game and the things I like about that game the most. I realize that Jason will never play it, but I still am holding out hope that someday Sean will. So I guess I don't want to get into the weeds too much because the other 3 people here would know why they're my number 1 pick and their entire arc and everything about them, top to bottom, the way they work mechanically, the part where they get big and do that shit is really fucking cool. The tragedy.
Is there inflation in this game? Because I'll play.
Oh yeah. The actual meaningful decision in video games you have to make that made me stop and then have to like fucking take a walk around the block before I decided what I was going to do about it. Pascal is, I think, again, it encapsulates the things I enjoy about my favorite game of all time and is emblematic of the entire game. And
Fire emblematic.
I like Papyrus for different reasons because again, I think that Papyrus very much encompasses all of like what like makes Undertale really, really cool, but Undertale ain't my favorite game. So it taint Papyrus at number 1.
My favorite part about Pascal is that he deserved it.
Fuck you, Hunter. Fuck you.
Too slow.
I was
man.
just gonna say it. No, you interrupted me. I was perfectly on
That's what happens. You
time.
don't just vomit your punchlines out. But I do want to hear Ryan vomit out his number one character of the generation.
Nice.
Oh, it's Papyrus.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Okay, Sean.
Yep. John,
Wait,
who's
so
your favorite Animal Crossing character?
who here played? How many people here played Night in the Woods?
I didn't.
Only me. But
Only
I'll
you, Dash?
I played it for like 20 minutes or so, but it wasn't what I was feeling at the time because I didn't even make it out of the town.
Is it
I made it
May?
like, to the town.
So no, it is Jeremy.
I was literally about to say, I was going to ask, is it Germ as a joke?
Oh, because I feel like the obvious answer is like Greg, but no, Jeremy is.
Greg rules.
So his real name is Jeremy, and he's just the perfect. I've never seen such a good representation in any sort of media of like the weird kid down the street who just like kind of says things that you're like, oh, okay, but you keep him around because he's like in the fringe of the friend group.
Yeah.
Just like a well communicated weird dude. When you go on the bike ride with Jeremy, it's just like an awkward afternoon out. Nothing creepy happens on. That's like the one of those outings that nothing creepy happens. You just hang out with Jeremy. It's great.
Another thing that I really like about Germ is like functionally in the game, there's different. The way the story unfolds is you can spend each of your days with kind of like different members of your friend group, and in order of like who is closest to your house is a character named B. Then it's a character named Angus, and it's a character named Greg, and then Germ is the farthest away.
Yeah,
and
he stands
also,
in the parking lot at the outskirts of town.
next to an abandoned grocery store. And they put him after the character who's maybe like the obvious choice for best character. So they really make you have to go out of your way physically, they make you spend more time walking past the quote unquote better options to go and spend time with him. And I think it's one of the things that like plays into the narrative of the game really, really well, and then imposing that functional restriction on you.
It's a great. It really captures a type of person that you would never think to want to capture in any media.
Like he is that kid who like when you're going and lighting off fireworks says like I have a stick of dynamite.
Yeah.
But yeah, he in a game full of very fantastic characters, he is a very fantastic character.
Best of the generation.
I almost had May on my list, but she got beat out by a goose that says honk.
And a man made a goo.
Jason, what could be better than a goose on the loose?
So for this one could just be still a bit of recency bias, but I'm just a big Jesse Faden fan.
Jesse's cool.
She just had just that game makes no sense, and she just like comes off as a very normal-ish person, and then she's like, oh fuck it, sure, I'm the boss to this thing that makes absolutely no logical sense at all, and then she just accepts all of these dumb tasks that make no sense, like they don't matter. Just I don't know, her general dismissive attitude of not really giving a shit but just doing all this stuff was interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's like very much the straight man in a just world of cosmic horror, but then rather than like being concerned about it, it's just like, well shit, someone's got to do it, I guess.
Yeah.
Fuck.
The farther away I get from that game, from playing it, the more I'm like, yeah, sure, I might actually play that entire game. Yeah.
Control is
that's
very
kind of
good.
how I'm feeling too.
And I don't do that.
So you might call it my number one misconnection.
We're not at the fucking category yet. Don't fucking spoil it.
I just like how she's like, hey, there's a guy who's been looking at a fridge for days, and then everyone around's like, shit, fridge duty, right?
Oh, fuck, we forgot about Pillow.
God, Control's so fucking good. Before we spoil any more of Control, Hunter, hit me with your number one character, unless it's Fridge Guy.
It's unfortunately not. I didn't think to put him on here. It's Dagda from Smith 4 Final. He is a Scottish, Irish, I don't know. Who cares? Same thing. God. He is a good god, but not like morally good. He's just good at everything. And he revives you after you've been killed so that he can make you his pawn in an effort to kill everyone and return God's back to their natural form, which is just like the wind and shit, instead of being trapped in these forms of gods. No, Zane, fuck off.
Zane once again sneaking his way onto the podcast.
Zane, what's your number one character?
Didn't even bring his jacket this time.
I think that this was a particularly great generation for characters. Like this one was really, really difficult whittling down to a list of 5. And midway through it, I almost just said, fuck it, do 10. But I think at a certain point, if you're opening up a bunch, it makes the 5 that you do pick mean a lot more. So
yeah, I could have easily done 10.
It's
This
like
is one of the hardest categories to narrow down. I realized I said that about the last one.
It's like the joke characters are like, I mean, yeah, it's fun to like joke about that, but a lot of them like are genuinely like those are the ones that are going to stick with me. Those are the ones that I remember the most. It's like Octodad was on this list for a super long time.
I say probably at least once a week something about grabbing Gary doesn't want to grab that.
Yeah,
it's dumb, but it sticks with you.
And I mean, and there's other ones that are just like good for the wrong reasons, like motherfucking anyone in The Quiet Man. But it's just been such a good generation for characters, and the fact that it was just like I almost hate that I had 2 of these locked in before I even began writing these, just because it's been that motherfucking good. I think like the rise of the indie game has produced a ton of really good characters, but also the later generation of getting kind of weird with your AAA games, it's just been fantastic. But
yeah, and I think a big part of it is owed to video games kind of becoming more accepted as an art form, so you get some actually good writers coming in to write these characters, and it's not just like some developer who knows how to write, kind of.
It's good shit. But with that, we've talked about our characters, and we must draw this episode to a close. I do certainly hope you join us for our next time, where we will be going over the best original soundtracks of the generation, with a kind of a fatty asterisk on that, because it's what the heart says is the best original soundtrack. And maybe it's not completely original, but we had to word this category a certain way to exclude Grand Theft Auto 5 one year, and we've just kind of stuck with it. So with that, goodbye.
It's time to change them shirts, boys.
Hunter, are you waving your hands?
Yes.
All right, I have to pee and change shirts. I'll be back.
I had to pee.